There are two terms, cost baseline and project budget. The question is, what is the difference between these two terms? Let us look at a block diagram to understand that. The cost estimates are done at the activity level. Various projected costs to complete each activity are determined. These are mainly resource costs, but may also include other potential expenses. If there are risks that exist at the activity level and need to be managed, some contingency reserve may be added to manage those risks. All the estimates for activities under a work package are added up to get the estimate for the work package. Contingency reserves to manage known risks are usually added at work package level by answering a question. What can go wrong with that work package? If risks are identified, contingency reserve may be added to manage those risks. Then all the work packages under a control account are added up to get the estimate for each control account. And continuing, all control accounts are added to get the cost baseline. The cost baseline is what is given to the project manager to spend on the project. The cost baseline will be used to track the project's progress and report whether the project is on track cost-wise, or is it over budget or under budget. Now the management reserve is also considered. It usually is taken as a % of the cost baseline depending on how risky the project is. For one company that I worked, the management reserve was set as 6% to 9% for low risk, 10% to 13% for medium risk, and 14% to 20% for high risk projects. The range was the room available for a project manager to be flexible with the estimate, especially when submitting bids and want to stay competitive. The project budget consists of both cost baseline and management reserve. So when the sponsor got the budget approved, the cost baseline was handed over to the project manager, but the management reserve was kept by the sponsor. If the project manager is from a seller or contractor side, then this reserve is never disclosed and is kept confidential. However, I have even seen that in some organizations, the reserve was kept confidential from the internal project managers too. I guess the thinking was that if the project manager knows there are extra funds available, they may not be cost conscious and end up consuming the reserve too. In order to use the management reserve, the project manager has to formally ask the sponsor to release money from the reserve. This money is then added to the cost baseline and the cost baseline is revised. Of course, all of this requires an approved change request. So this is what is included in the project budget.